Kobe Bryant obviously has been synonymous with the snake. His nickname is the Black Mamba. But this year, it is the Year of the Horse, and Nike is bringing back the original Year of the Horse colorway on one of his sneakers. Nike Kobe 8 Pro Tro Year of the Horse. And the shoe is dropping on January 31st for $200, actually before Lunar New Year. A lot of times Jordan or Nike can like release a shoe for an occasion, like after the actual occasion or the date, or right on the date, where people will not actually get the shoe in time. But this time, if you get this on the 31st, you should probably receive it before Lunar New Year. And of course, this is the return of the 2014 colorway, the original Year of the Horse Kobe 8, but it is updated. It is a Pro Tro version of the shoe, and if you didn't know, Pro Tro means performance retro. Kobe Bryant actually coined that term. He didn't want to just retro his shoes. He wanted to add some updates to increase and improve the performance of it and first impressions of the shoe. Kobe 8's, I think, silhouette-wise is pretty nice. It is not my favorite. My favorite are the Kobe 1s and the 4s. Very glad they're bringing some Kobe 1s back this year. But Kobe 8s are decent. They're not ugly. They don't look bad. It's just not like one of my favorites ever. In terms of the colorway, red very on theme for like Lunar New Year. And if you didn't know, red in Asian culture oftentimes represents like prosperity, good luck, good fortune. So red is very on theme here. And I think the colors used here, I think it works well. The red and blue is kind of out there, kind of bold. Under certain lighting, it looks kind of orange as well. I think it's a decent colorway. I wouldn't call it one of the best Kobe 8 colorways ever. I think the What the colorway actually is probably like my favorite, definitely my favorite like What the colorway ever. But this is pretty good. And the materials on the Kobe 8, it is just engineered mesh. I believe it was the first time engineered mesh was used on a basketball shoe when the Kobe 8 first dropped. But you see this here as well. And it does have like this type of pattern to it. And there's like subtle different shades of red across, as well as this kind of printed swoosh right on the lateral side of the shoe. Now on the Halo versions of the Kobe 8s, it comes in like its own piece, so slightly elevated there. This one does not, just comes like an original form for a Kobe 8. And then moving up the tongue, you just get these yellow laces out of the box, no extra laces, so this is your only choice. And on the lace tips, you will get very subtle Nike branding. And at the very top, you get the Mamba logo there. And fun fact, the Mamba logo is supposed to represent a sword in a sheath. But Kobe Bryant did get the Mamba nickname from the movie Kill Bill. And this tongue here, it is just thin like the original Kobe 8s. So one of the major complaints that the original shoe had was that this tongue would like cut into people's ankles, especially if they wore like very low or no-show socks. And I've said it before, but have some respect for yourself. Do not wear no-show socks for a Kobe 8. But there you go. And the Halo version of the shoe, similar to the swoosh, they kind of elevated a bit, so they pad the tongue there. But this, just a return of this colorway, it is just like a thin tongue again. And then right behind the tongue, you will see this emblem that actually is like a stylized version of horse on the left side. So pretty cool there too. And then wrapping around to the booty of the shoe, you will see this heel counter with Kobe Bryant's signature on the lateral side, as well as that Mamba logo on the heel. And then on the medial side of the shoe, another swoosh there near the ankle lining. The ankle lining here on the medial side comes in this synthetic leather. And box of the shoe, a pretty regular Kobe box with the Mamba scales all over, with Kobe's signature on top. And inside, just Mamba branded paper. And in terms of the cushioning for the Pro Tros of the Kobe 8, you do get this React Foam drop-in midsole instead of the original Luna Foam. So the React Foam is actually meant to be more responsive as well as resilient compared to Lunarlon. So you can see how thick it is. They've also added this like lateral tape here, and that is meant to increase support there. So this thing doesn't rip when you're doing like side to side, more explosive movements. And you will see one thing on the drop-in midsole, these scales all over. I get why they do that, to like increase grip, but I hate it like practically. So every time you try to put your feet into a Kobe 8, because of these things, your socks kind of get caught and you have to like hold your socks in place almost sometimes, like you're ripping your socks apart just to slide your feet in. And in terms of the cushioning itself, this React Foam does take a bit of time to like wear into. After that, it does feel pretty good. So decently responsive and decently like plush, but not too soft. But personally, I've just never really loved drop-ins, like as a general rule, kind of a blanket statement. But for me, I do prefer like cushioning in a more traditional sense, unless it comes in like insane type of tech specs. But React Foam drop-in isn't anything too special. And one thing they didn't do for the Protros is they didn't include any zoom air. So just relying on this, it is a little muted for my opinion, takes a little bit of time to wear in, so it's not my absolute favorite. Definitely though, it is an upgrade from the old Lunafoam. And you will see these dots on the midsole of the shoe. That is not Braille, that is the Mamba code, and that actually means chase perfection. And you will see those 4 symbols up at the top of the forefoot. That means accuracy, speed, vision, and focus. Just a very, very Kobe thing to do, to add those types of symbolism on a sneaker. And in terms of the outsole for the Kobe 8 Protros, you do see majority herringbone traction, but it does switch things up a little bit. So the traction pattern on the scales on the side here, it actually goes in like a slightly different direction than the original Kobe 8s. But one of the very strong things about the Kobe 8s just from the get-go was how good this traction does. So you should have no problems in terms of traction here. Usually I do B-roll in a pretty dusty gym, not the best maintained, but anytime I've worn a Kobe 8 Protro in that gym, it does pretty good. So definitely one of the standouts for this shoe. And you will see in the middle, poking through, as well as on the medial side, this glass-based carbon fiber shank. And that is actually slightly more lightweight than like a regular carbon fiber. And the carbon fiber here does add more stability and rigidity to the shoe. It also really helps with kinetic energy return. So if you imagine your foot like planting down, trying to explode when you're playing ball, you want something with like rigid support where it returns as much energy in the shortest amount of time possible. You don't want something too soft, too squishy, where there's a bit of lag to explode. And overall support wise for the Kobe 8, I think for a lightweight player like me, it does a pretty decent job. The upper, the engineered mesh here, contains my foot in place. If you're like a super heavyweight, maybe you might have a different experience. But for me, side to side lateral support does the job. The heel counter is very solid too. The outrigger as well, especially from a bird's eye view, you can see it is decent. That helps with stability. And in terms of the sizing and fit for a Kobe 8, usually in past Kobe 8 reviews, I've just gone true to size. This time, I thought, why not try going up half a size, see how it compares. True to size is definitely very tight. Kobe's in general, for wide and flat footers like us, there's just no winning. It's just a very tight type of line. Kobe Bryant must have had like really, really slender feet. I'm not gonna Google to search that. Don't want that in my history, but all his shoes are very, very slender and thin. So wide and flat footers, there's no winning here. You go true to size, it's good lengthwise, but around the toe box, as well as the arch area here, it just really strangles your foot. It's to the point where unless I really take time to break a Kobe 8 shoe in, if I go true to size, it actually starts to hurt. So after like 45 to 50 minutes, it loosens up, feels slightly better. But if I go up half a size, it fits good like width-wise, no pain there, but there does seem to be a little bit like dead space in the toe box area. So honestly, if you had to choose, if you're playing ball, it depends if you're more into or more used to or prefer like a very, very tight fit and you don't mind breaking it in, tolerating a bit of pain during that break-in period, then go true to size if you have wide and flat feet. If you don't want that kind of initial break-in period, you could go up half a size. Honestly, no perfect solution if you have wide and fat feet. Comfort-wise though, like if you're just wearing this walking around, I think the React Foam drop-in feels pretty decent underfoot. It is still relatively like a pretty low shoe, so you do get like that core feel. Some people might not like that for just casual wear, but for me, as someone that's used to basketball shoes that would only wear a Kobe 8 to play on court, I do like that lower profile feeling. And in terms of the weight of the shoe, honestly, no surprises here. Kobe was obsessed with detail. So he wanted to shave every ounce that he could off. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the Kobe 8 was at the time the lightest Nike basketball shoe ever. Since then, some other shoes have surpassed it or like reduced the weight even further. At the time, it was definitely one of the achievements for the shoe. So even in 2026, it might not be the lightest shoe that you could get on the market. It's definitely light enough for you to not complain about it. Now, no sole score for this shoe, usually for basketball sneakers, performance sneakers. I don't do a sole score. The metrics don't really kind of make sense for a performance shoe. A final verdict, of the Kobe 8 Pro Tro. Would I still wear these to play ball in 2026? Probably not. I feel like there's just so many other shoes tech spec wise, especially for around that price range, that premium price range of $200, that I will take over these. Like the Jordan 40, the tech is stacked on that shoe. The Sabrinas, much cheaper. I think feels better on court. Cushioning is good. I wouldn't say it's elite. It's balanced, but nothing too special. Traction, really good. So if that is a priority, these won't disappoint you. Support, again, it is decent, but if you're a heavyweight, the engineered mesh here might not be super durable. But at the end of the day, it is a Kobe shoe, and his legacy and his popularity seems to have only just risen and increased since he unfortunately passed away. So if you want to wear these, I totally understand it. If someone forced me to wear a Kobe 8 Pro Tro to play ball in 2026, I definitely wouldn't really complain. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Nike Kobe 8 Pro Tro Year of the Horse. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.